Oh hi! Thanks for watching my video. So about 2 years ago I made a video where I basically went through a tier list and I ranked every Sims pack from worst to best. Since then the game has had multiple updates, multiple new packs, and since that video The Sims 4 has also become free for everyone. So I thought with that in mind, it might be time to revisit all of the Sims 4 packs and once again rank them from worst to best, in my opinion. I'm going to be approaching it slightly differently this time, so given that we now have so many pieces of DLC for this game, I mean we have 15 expansions, 12 game packs, 19 stuff packs and countless kits, I think this time it would probably be better to rank them in their separate categories. To be honest, I've always kind of struggled with ranking them as a whole group anyway, because you can't really compare a stuff pack to an expansion, and so for the sake of making it a bit more fair, I'm just going to be ranking them in their categories. So today I'll be ranking the expansion packs from worst to best in this video, and then same time next week I'll probably do the same with game packs and so on. Makes it easier for me and hopefully a bit neater for you. Before we begin, cheeky disclaimer, obviously it's subjective how good a pack is. There might be packs that I never touch that you might use all of the time. So I can only rank these packs according to how good I think they are. If I've ranked a pack that you love in a low position, feel free to let me know your opinion in the comments. In 15th and therefore last place, we have Island Living. This pack for me is very underwhelming. The world of Sulani is really pretty and it's usually my go-to spot for sim vacations, however it just feels unfinished. As far as I'm concerned, the only reason to buy this pack would be for the world. The new gameplay you get with this pack seems pointless. There is island lore teased, but there really isn't much to uncover. No island secrets here. There are also the island elementals, which you can play with for a few minutes, and there is the life state of Mermaid, which offers a fraction of the gameplay you get with some of the other occults. You can also clean up the island of Sulani, which in fairness does take quite a while to do, and there is some satisfaction in seeing the changes on the island as a result of your hard work. Overall though, Island Living is the weakest of the bunch in my opinion. Number 14. Eco Lifestyle. This one gets a pretty low spot on the list, and I'm sure some of you will be surprised to see it so low. This is where my personal playstyle dictates where this one sits, because I know that there's stuff you can do to impact the world around you, from impacting the ecosystem to working together as a community to transform a community space. I can definitely see the benefits of having this pack installed, and I can understand why some simmers love it. It just doesn't fit in with family gameplay, I don't think. The neighbourhood action plans can come in useful sometimes, and I really like the decor items and the new options for crafting things. Maybe I'm just not invested enough in this specific style of gameplay, because the only impact this pack has on my gameplay is when the inspector comes over to tell me my house isn't up to code, or when Sims start stealing my stuff because of a neighbourhood action plan. Over time, I just find myself disabling these eco lifestyle features. The only thing I ever use this pack for now is dumpster diving. Number 13. Snowy Escape. When Snowy Escape was announced, I was convinced it was my dream pack. A Japanese-inspired world, kawaii-style build and buy, ski activities, even the vending machines. And I was generally quite happy with this pack. I love the open areas like the bamboo forest, the shrines, the mountain excursions. It would have been one of my favourite worlds, had it not been for how empty it is. Is this world even lived in? If you go for a hike in any of the walking trails, you'd be lucky to bump into even one sim in the area. There's a town centre that always looks so empty, and out of the 3 festivals on offer, only one of them is worth going to. The Snow Festival is really pretty, but the other 2 are quite empty and don't really have much going on. The build and buy stuff is really nice. The snow-themed sports activities are a nice addition, but even that gets quite repetitive, and I just don't think there's enough to do here. Number 12. For Rent. Gameplay-wise, I'd like to put this pack lower on the list, because I would definitely say that the gameplay is lacking, but this pack does have a feature that is a complete game changer, and that is the rental lot type. I truly believe this pack should have been a game pack, because there really isn't much to do outside of the rental system. That being said, if you do have this pack, it does greatly impact how many homes you can build. Most of the lots in The Sims 4 are too big for just one house, and with the 4 rent pack, you can build several homes. Whether it be custom built apartments, or even townhouses all in one lot, and have multiple households live there. The value for money in terms of gameplay is really not there, but the rental feature alone puts it in a higher slot on the list given how much it can impact your game. Number 11. City Living. When City Living first came out, it added the ability for Sims to live in apartments, and for a few years up until Eco Lifestyle came out, it was the only pack to offer apartments. Now, it's just one of many. So given that apartment living isn't just exclusive to city living anymore, what else is there to make it worth playing? The city of San Myshuno is a nice place to wander around, and there does seem to be Sims around wherever you go, which makes it a nice contrast to Mount Komorebi. My favourite features from city living are the 4 festivals that take place around the city, each of them offering a unique experience for Sims. I'm also a big fan of the karaoke bars. But even with the festivals and the karaoke bars, there just isn't enough in this pack for me to rate it higher. I do really like City Living, I think it's a great pack, but now that its main unique selling point isn't exclusive to City Living anymore, its once higher position on my list takes a bit of a hit. Number 10. Cats and Dogs. This pack is probably one of the weaker ones in terms of gameplay opportunities. Cats and Dogs is literally just cats and dogs. There is an active career as a vet and the spacious world of Brindleton Bay, but there isn't much to do here. Not in comparison to some of the other packs I've mentioned. I personally though would consider this pack a necessity, for me anyway, just because having pets in a life simulation game is kind of fundamental in my opinion. I've kept this one fairly close to the 4 Rent expansion pack in my ranking because my opinion of them both is quite similar. Both offer game-changing features, but outside of those specific features, there really isn't much gameplay. Number 9. Cottage Living. Even though I ranked this pack in the bottom half, I actually really like this pack. There is so much to do, looking after farm animals and living off the land. The world of Henford-on-Bagley is one of my favourite worlds, and one aspect of this pack that I love is how much community gameplay there is. From attending one of the 4 Finchwick fairs, to having a pint in the pub, to even just stopping by the food stands in the town centre, it all feels very social and wholesome. I also like the little quests that you can do for Sims that live in the area. The only reason this pack is lower than some others is because its gameplay is tied to a specific way of living. Unless you're playing as a farmer type Sim living in Henford-on-Bagley, you might not use many of the pack's features very often. So as good as I think this pack is, it doesn't impact Sims across the board as much as some of the other ones that are higher on the list. And for this exact reason, we have number 8, Horse Ranch. When Horse Ranch was first announced, I was probably one of the more skeptical people about this pack. I had absolutely no interest in it, but once I started playing with it, I actually had a lot of fun. I like that there are elements of this pack that don't come easy, like having a horse win the Ultimate Championship actually takes time, training, and keeping an eye on your horse's needs. The world is very spacious, and even after hours and hours of gameplay, I still hadn't seen everything in this pack, which is sadly often the case with expansion packs for The Sims 4. It feels a bit wrong to be putting Horse Ranch above Cottage Living, because in many ways I feel like Cottage Living is better, but then I have to remember that Horse Ranch introduced nectar making, and therefore it introduced the ability for Sims to get plastered and disgracefully pass out drunk on the floor. I'm sorry, Cottage Living, but no amount of picnic baskets and jam can compete with that. Number 7. Get Together. Get Together comes next on the list. The world of Windenburg is huge compared to the other worlds, and there are some really nice spots for your Sims to practice their DJ mixing or dancing skills. The main purpose of this pack is to create clubs. You can make club rules, set club activities, you can even set club costumes. The more club gatherings you have, the more reward points you can earn, which you can spend on things like a secret handshake, reputation, and even club merch. A lot of people tend to rate this pack very high, And I enjoy using the club system, but to be honest, I forget it even exists sometimes. I don't use it as much as I use other packs, so that's why it isn't higher on the list. Number 6, High School Years. This pack greatly expands the teenager life stage, which I'm appreciative of, considering most of the gameplay we have is for adult Sims. The active day at high school isn't much to get excited about. It gets pretty old pretty quickly. Once you've done one day at high school, you've basically done them all. Which is a shame, considering this is meant to be the main feature of the pack. The reason why I like this pack though is because of the many other things that come with it to really beef out playing as a teen. I love the prom, the fun fair, the trophies you can earn, the thrifting experience, the social bunny app. Basically loads of features that I've wanted over the years came with this pack, and I had so much fun playing with it. Hanging my teens' photo booth pictures up, mounting their framed diploma, attending graduation, sneaking out to college parties. I honestly think that there's so much to be enjoyed with this pack, and I use its features on a regular basis. Number 5. Get to work. In terms of value for money, this pack offers a lot. 3 active careers, the ability to own and run retail stores, the world of Sixam and the life state of aliens. Sure, the business world is quite lackluster, but in terms of gameplay, there's plenty to be had. I do think in terms of replayability, some of the careers can get a bit stale. Like if you've already played through the entire detective, scientist and doctor career, you probably won't be in any hurry to do them again anytime soon. The active days can get a bit repetitive, but the reason why I ranked it highly is because of the retail system. Having Get to Work greatly expands what your Sims can do to make money. It can get boring if you just send your Sims off to a rabbit hole to work every day. So I enjoy having the option of opening whatever kind of store I like and having more of a hands-on role. Number 4, Get Famous. This pack has some of the best cross-pack compatibility in my opinion. The Fame system is really fun to play with. Well, it is for me anyway. The amount of storylines and challenges I've come up with based off of the Fame system. I just really like that Fame isn't restricted to pack activities. There are several ways for your Sims to get famous and unlock perk points. Whether you go down the mainstream route of being an actor, or you could become an online influencer, a best-selling novel writer, an artist. There are loads of possibilities. I'm not much of a fan of the world of Del Sol Valley, and I do think that the acting career can get repetitive, just like every other active day, but I do really like this pack. I like how your Sims can use the Fame system to get fan mail and have paparazzi following them, without even having to do the Get Famous career or live in Del Sol Valley. I think Get Famous is a bit like Marmite though. You either love it and you use it all the time, or you don't and you never really use it. Number 3. Discover University. I really enjoyed this pack. I replay the university experience several times and I rarely get bored of it. Don't get me wrong, there are things I wish it had. I would much prefer it if some of the classes weren't rabbit holes, and the graduation ceremony is incredibly underwhelming. They missed such a trick with that one. University in The Sims 4 still isn't as good as University in The Sims 3, in my opinion, but I can at least acknowledge that there are some benefits to playing through it in The Sims 4. For one, you get to have more flexibility when attending university. Your Sims are no longer forced to move and locked into a university town. They can now get their degree at their own pace from home if they want. And they can get a part-time job at the same time. Discover University isn't just about lectures and doing homework though. Similarly to the Sims 3 University pack, each university has 3 organisations associated with it, so 6 in total, giving student Sims the opportunity to build relationships with other students around campus in their downtime. Or they could swan over to the rival university and deface their statue. Overall, it's just a fun pack to play with. Number 2, Growing Together. This pack is probably the closest thing we have to the greatest Sims pack of them all, Sims 3 Generations. As a family gameplay simmer, it's no surprise that this one ranks highly for me. I love the gameplay on offer with this pack. The Elder's Keepsake box, the puzzles, the friendship bracelets, the lost tooth, and not to mention that even though infants were patched in for free, you can't actually do anything with them without the Growing Together pack. This pack just fills some of the gaps when it comes to gameplay for life stages other than adult. Kids are able to build their own treehouse and turn it into a princess castle. They can learn to ride bikes. There's just a good amount of gameplay in this pack. But even the small gameplay features aside, it does also have game-changing features that affect everybody, like milestones, family dynamics, and the compatibility system. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory for why this one ranks so high on the list. And number 1, Seasons. Seasons for me is the most necessary pack. Having seasons in the game actually gives the feeling that time is passing by. You really feel like you're playing through years of gameplay. Plus, it's also nice to be able to celebrate holidays like Easter, Hanukkah, Christmas, or whatever other custom holidays you want to add. If I could have only one expansion pack for The Sims 4, it would be Seasons. So, that's my ranking of all of The Sims 4 expansion packs from worst to best. Do you agree with my picks? I'd love to know in the comments. But for now, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, you know I love it when you do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.